Got it. Good. I was about to say good morning. It is not morning.
Practically.
It is evening, but grab your waters, grab your wine, because it's 8 o'clock Central Time.
Does a body good. Look, that's the water that don't taste like water.
There you go. Oh, this is always fun. When you get your hair stuck in the cap. Well, good evening, everybody. It's good to see you. Thanks for jumping on. I know that we had recently changed our time on this call, so used to be in the morning. Now it's in the evening. We're switching it up. So thanks for still being able to jump on, and hopefully, the whole point of this call is just to kind of to get together in a smaller setting than what the DCC has. I don't know if you guys don't get to see the attendance, but since we the last 2 weeks, our attendance on the DCC has jumped. I mean, today there was 166 people on it. So it's just pretty incredible over the last year, what we've been able to do with that call. I just think about all the years and all the time that we spent sitting in an office together making dials, and that's kind of like what the DCC is, except you're getting to jump into the brains of people who are out there every day, just like you guys, trying to make it happen, trying to make sales, dealing with objections, how to overcome, what products. I mean, I don't know. I'd love to hear y'all's feedback on how the DCC has been for you, and if you feel like you're learning from it, or just your feedback in general. I mean, we're always open to getting better, but the attendance is jumping, and that's a good indication of we're helping people, and hopefully it's helping you guys. You guys see our face on there. So hopefully, and then this call is supposed to just be a smaller setting, to just help you guys on a more intimate and personal level, and of course in conjunction with our personal conversations that we have. So ultimately, our hope and our goal is to lead, guide, and help you get to where you want to be. And the challenging thing as someone who's leading on the calls or just leading in general is that everybody kind of has a different goal, different thing they're looking for, right? But that's why I love the DCC, is because it's a place where you can come and ask any and all questions, and some questions that you didn't know to ask will be asked, but you'll benefit from the answers. So anyway, I just hope, my hope is that it's helping you, and I'd love to hear your feedback on what you're getting from it. But tonight I did have an agenda of a couple of things that I wanted to go through, but also if you guys have any additional questions or want me to go through anything in addition to, please feel free to speak up and let me know. I know a few of you, I know Sonia, you and Alfred have been getting some leads, and we should probably have a conversation offline about how that's going on. I have talked to Alfred a few times, but and Yasmin, I know she's just coming back on board. She just graduated college. Yay, Yasmin. She just finished her bachelor's degree, so proud of her. And Bob, I know you've been showing up on the DCC, and Diane and Michael, so I'd love to hear what y'all's takes are from that and what you are learning from it, and maybe give us a suggestion of what you might want to hear more about. But first, while you process that, I do want to share my screen and just go over some basics. Oh, I can. Okay. And the reason I'm going to go over basics is just because when the basics are done consistently, your results show up, right? But if we consistently fly by the seat of our pants, it is hard to have consistent results. And so we have to measure that, right? I know I've experienced that. I know Jonathan experiences that. Excuse me. I know you guys have experienced that. I know Michael has experienced that. Like, whenever you stay in this business long enough, you've got to measure and to track. Otherwise, it's hard to recreate what you've done. So there's a few tools that we use on a week-to-week basis just to be like a baseline of what you should be tracking and where you should be tracking it. So let me pull up my screen. So everybody has seen the boot camp. Everybody on here has seen the boot camp or should have seen the boot camp. And I want to just come point this out real quick that the boot camp has changed a little bit over the last few weeks. I know there's been a lot of videos that have been added, all sorts of stuff, but I want you to come onto here and go through the boot camp if you haven't already. You'll see all the stuff is checked off. Some of the stuff that's not checked off is just stuff that's been added, but I'm going to go to the files you will need. And this is where you're going to actually get access to the tracking tool that I'm going to go over. So every single week on Sunday evenings, we know to report our weekly activity to tfgreporting.com for the sales meeting. Okay, so let's start there. tfgreporting.com. This is where you're going to come and input your activity for the week. Really simple. And I know a lot of you have seen this, so I apologize if it's repetitive, but hey, you know what? Repetitive is not a bad thing. It just makes it stick more in your head. So you're going to put your information in, right? Follow the steps. This is not my first application, but if it was yours, you put yes. You're going to choose the agency that you're a part of. Really easy to remember. With us, you're either the first or you're the last. Okay, you're going to go to Alleman or Yankee. But listen, we're all the first. Okay, don't get it twisted, Alleman. So you'll choose Alleman or Yankee, but you'll go next. Oh, I guess I should choose Yankee. And it's going to take me to the recruiting leaderboard. So if you are recruiting, you put your input here. If you're not recruiting, click on next. You'll put your sales activity into here. And you're like, well, how do I, and some of you might be thinking, how do I track that? Really simple. I mean, you can either just take tick marks if you work on paper. If you work virtually, you can just go back through your calendar, count how many appointments you had, how many you sat on, whatever is easiest for you. But real quick, while we're on this page, if you do want something to help you track that on paper, come to the files you will need section in the bootcamp. Click on this link to download files you will need on a day-to-day operation. So click there. It's going to take you to a Dropbox file, and you're going to click on the reporting and tracking. If you want a physical paper to help you track your activity, you can print this out on a week-to-week basis, and it's just a place where you can come and make tick marks. I mean, you can make a TikTok with an activity sheet. I don't see why that wouldn't work, but tick marks. So just tally as you make your dials, as you make your contacts, as you do your appointment sits, all that stuff. So that at the end of the week, you just come here, put your totals, and transfer that electronically over here into the jot form. So once that's filled out, you'll click on next. The money share is just a segment that we do on the DCC for somebody who has been working the system and wants to get coached directly by some of the top producers. And you click that and you click on review and submit. And I won't click that, but that's how you would actually submit that for Monday's daily coaching call. The reason we do it, we report numbers on Sunday evening, is so that everything gets transferred for Monday correctly onto the sales call. And really, that's just an opportunity for you to be accountable and to get celebrated with the team, right? You either show up to be inspired or to inspire. That's kind of how I see like these calls, right? Either show up to inspire or show up to be inspired. Also, you're going to get a lot of knowledge, but I'm just saying, like, from this perspective, as far as being accountable to your numbers and being accountable to the team, that's what it ends up doing. So wanted to point that out. Let's go back to the Dropbox file. So again, inside TFG Bootcamp, under the files you will need, you will come to it'll take you to the Dropbox file. So after you've reported your numbers, or even before, you're going to come and do it's called the new business transmittal, but for short, NBT. I can't even say it. I want to say NTB. Isn't that a tire shop? Yeah. So anyway, you'll click on this, and this is the new business transmittal. This is the Excel sheet that is submitted to Melissa Bruno and to the FITS office every week for good reason. It's what helps the FITS office track what you've submitted and making sure that it goes from submit to paid, right? We want you to get paid. So we have back office that is helping manage that. And that's really what this is for. How I've always seen this sheet, it actually already has the sales activity slots down here. You can come in here and add it if you want to. If it's easier for you to keep it all in one place. I like to keep it all in one place, but I then just take these numbers and transfer it to the job form here rather than, but some people are paper people. So if you want to print, that this activity sheet, by all means, go for it. It's just personally, I like to have the new business transmittal, typically just add them in here. Okay, everybody follow? Does that make sense? I feel like that's pretty simple. I just wanted to show everybody where that stuff is at, so it's not hard to find. Again, any files you will need is going to be under that files you will need tab inside the TFG Bootcamp. You can also find a lot of other stuff here. Like we were talking about this the other day on the DCC. That's not the same sheet that it was that
next one down.
Process of elimination. So it just kind of shows, and there's actually another chart too that I was thinking of, but it just shows the statistics, and you can bring this up to people. Like unintentional injury is pretty high up there. So when you're selling like accidental death, that's a big thing. When you're talking about heart attack, cancer, stroke plans, pull this out. Listen, I mean, the statistics for how many deaths there are and the cause of death, heart disease is number 1, cancer is number 2. That's pretty crazy. So you can find a lot of good material here. Another thing that I wanted to point out real quick is the accidental death benefit rate sheet that we've been talking a lot about on the DCC. Bell Krause has been just taking a hammer and hitting that nail till that nail's all the way through the board, right? But it's so important because it's doing so many things with just such a simple sale. So if you haven't tried adding this into your system, I'd really encourage you to do that. But I want to show you where to find this rate sheet. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, show up on a DCC, one of the daily coaching calls. You will probably within the next week, we will talk about it at some point. Because we talk about it that much, because it really is such an easy and simple thing, but if missed, it's also simple and easy to miss. So, okay, so when you're on your ARC, you'll go to carriers, you'll click on Mutual of Omaha because this is a Mutual of Omaha product, okay? When we talk about this on the DCC, Bell Krause, and I'll show you guys where to find the training that she just did on this exact selling technique, but I'm going to show you where to find the material first. So you'll go to the accidental death product guide. This is where it'll be. And it is 3 pages. It is page 4 through 7. So it shows, and this is that thing that Bell will either text or pass across the table if you're sitting with somebody in person, but it's just and I won't recreate what she does because she does it so well, but I will show you guys where to get the training. But this is where you actually have the rate guides. So you just print this out or screenshot it, save that screenshot to your phone, and send this to people as you're going through your appointment. See, she's showing you guys that she's got hers right there, Michelle. This is so big, and people literally just choose like they're looking at a menu.
And you can, if you realize during the conversation that they're not going to qualify, but they're under age 70, and they're not going to qualify for anything else, maybe they had a DWI or maybe they have a felony record, then you can just go to this and take a picture or just give them 3 options, Yeah.
So
I use it a lot.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people do use that a lot. I'm going to show you guys where to find the video that Bell Krause just did. I think it was a product call last week, and show you where to find that. This is how I would get to it. There might be a better way to get to it, but this is the road that I know. Okay, so I'd go to resources, I'd go to advanced resources, and where this is going to take me is to the Alliance University. Now, please, when you get here, just go straight to the video vault, okay? And here it is. I'll let you know. So this is the product call that Bell Krause did just last week on how the actual sales system that she uses and her strategy to sell an accidental product with every single final expense that she does, every single term policy that she does, every single IUL policy that she does. She goes through her exact sales system of how she does it. So that's how you would find that training. I just wanted to show you all that real quick. And those are the few things I wanted to guide you through this evening. And did that create any questions? Or do you want me to show you anything else? So I still have that up.
Good stuff. Transmittals are important.
Yeah, you're actually good at talking about the principle behind that. Would you mind just like high level principle behind why that's so important?
Yeah. So for one, I think that's a baseline if you're writing business. Really, that's just a baseline of what you should be doing is just turning in the application you did to us in an email or Melissa with the transmittal. Because one, Leslie and Melissa are in the back office looking at that stuff, so it helps you get paid for one, right? It also gets put into a CRM data entry so that you have a record of that for your client in a year when you do a review with them, which is important, right? But then also, well, I guess that goes along with the review. It gives you data to go back and talk to the client in a year. So yeah, it's important to
notice this seems so simple, and that you might be thinking like, why do they keep talking about reporting their numbers? Well, it really is that simple, but it really is that meaningful. Go ahead.
Yeah, and also the third thing is it's important. Like if you're getting leads, you should be having conversations with someone week to week about how the leads are going. Because at minimum, if you're getting leads, you should be making 3 to 4 times what you invested. If you're not, you need to be talking about why, because that's important. Like you need to be having a conversation. If you spend $100, you should be profiting 300, meaning made 400 deposited from that $100 investment at a minimum 3 times or 4. If you're not hitting that number, there's something very wrong. And it may not be your fault, but that's an expectation. And as you go through the business, you should get to 10x really, and to a point where you don't need leads. But I think that's something we forget. Like that is an expectation I set with everybody. If you're getting leads, and forgive me if I never set that expectation with you, that's on me, but you should be getting 3 to 4 times a return. So having a transmittal and turning in business helps you track that too, so that you're being profitable as an agent and that you're making money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want you guys to stay in business for a long time, not just for a short time. Those are just principles. Okay. Those are the main things I wanted to bring up. So after the call or tomorrow morning, if you guys would download or print your accidental rate sheet so that for your appointments this week, you're ready to go. And if you don't mind, watch that video that that Belle Krause did on how she makes those additional sales, because it was really good. I mean, and by the way, y'all, we get access to Belle every single day in our DCC. So she's available to you guys every Monday through Thursday, and so are we every day, but on the DCC Monday through Thursday from 9 to 9:45 a.m. All right, I will leave it up to you guys if for any questions, comments, concerns, or just your thoughts from the question I had at the beginning, which was your thoughts on the DCC.
Just as a reminder to everybody who is getting on the DCC, you guys, we do like you to put your first and last name on the DCC along with your team name, whether it's Yankee or Alleman, and then the state that you're from. Mine kind of always has that on there. I just keep it that way unless I'm doing a different meeting outside of my team meetings. And
I always mess up, but there we go. It's an easy fix.
And
Good.
Hey, Stephanie.
Hey, so I know Michelle, you answered my question yesterday, but I signed up myself and my daughter, so it was a family, it was a individual and child with the critical care through Mutual of Omaha. And you said the other option would be what you said, Aetna, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, are there any other companies? Because my boyfriend vapes and I'm trying to get him on that cancer policy. I don't know. You know,
he doesn't have a smoker.
no. That's just because I know that it's also what, it's
So Mutual of Omaha has a good cancer plan, but Aetna has a really good cancer plan as well. Neither of them ask if you smoke.
yes, I'm just
I'm
saying,
sure I understand your question.
are there any other out there other than Aetna and Mutual of Omaha? The vaping thing was kind of a joke, but not really, because it still is a
Are you
culprit.
talking about life insurance or are you talking about cancer insurance?
I'm talking about cancer policy.
The cancer plans don't ask about tobacco. That's what she's saying.
Yes,
So
but
the
all I'm
best
saying
plan
I
is going to be what?
I want to get him on a plan because he chronically vapes.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense?
Well, you can still write him on Mutual of Omaha Critical Advantage. Just write him a separate policy.
Is it? I guess also what I'm asking is that which one's better?
Oh, they're both great. They're both the same. It just depends on underwriting. That's what changes it. So they both do the same thing though. They both pay in the event of whatever cancer, heart attack, stroke, whatever you've chosen as the plan. So one's not better than the other. It's just they're different underwriting guidelines. So for example, like somebody who is overweight, who can't qualify for Mutual of Omaha, or even underweight. I've actually had somebody declined because they were underweight on the critical illness plan with Mutual of Omaha. That's really the only reason I pivot to Aetna. But is if it's a weight issue.
Mhm.
Otherwise, Mutual of Omaha is a great plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's it.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
And, love
Go ahead.
you. And I wanted to acknowledge, Michael asked, why do I have to report if I'm sending in my numbers? I think you're talking about if you're reporting if you're sending in your transmittal, why do we have to do the TFG reporting as well? I get what you're saying, like from the standpoint of already having that submitted, but they're for two different purposes. And that's the main reason. And a lot of people on the actual DCC, some people don't report directly to the FITS office. Some report to the Lampe or to the Roberts office. And so they don't do the transmittals the same as we do. So it causes confusion, and we try to eliminate confusion and just make things simple. I know that sounds like it's like not making it simple and adding an extra step, but that's just because it would make it very confusing for the office to actually do with all the people that tune into our call on the DCC. So you guys understand, the DCC is FITS group, which is all of us, but there's two other huge agencies within the FITS group that report slightly different. So that's the main reason, to my understanding. But the jot form takes, if you've already completed the transmittal, the TFG reporting jot form page takes an extra minute. Like if you've already figured out your numbers. The hardest part for me is just going back over the week and figuring out what my numbers were. Sometimes that takes the longest, but actually reporting just takes a minute or two. So, but that's the reason. That's the main reason.
And it also, Megan, is for, the FITS group, as part of the DCC, we're having about 160 people on their daily, and we're trying to, have people, it's for recognition purposes too. So
Right.
we want to
Also
recognize,
to see who wants to actually be held accountable.
and for me, I as I do applications throughout the week, I'm putting it on my transmittal. So I'm not having to do a lot of work on Sunday night. If you can just kind of keep track of your dials, your appointments each day, and then just add them up, it really, and then I do my transmittal first, and then I go do the jot form last, and literally it's 1 minute to get it done. But yeah, I get what you're saying too.
Yeah, I've definitely felt the same way, but that's the main reason. We appreciate the fact that you've been consistent and submitting a transmittal. That's really the biggest thing. All right. Brandy, good to see you. Any other questions, comments, concerns? I found 1.2 million the other day, so that's exciting. Could be a big opportunity there. Hey, Brandy. All right. Well, if there's any conversations you guys want to have offline, I know it's been a while since we've chatted. We should talk soon.
Megan,
Yes, Stephanie?
you found 1.2 million of what? Like seashells, dollar bill, annuity. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, it's just from an annual review. He's got a 1.2 in a retirement account that needs to be rolled over in January.
Seashells. Okay, you're at the beach.
Yeah, no seashells. That wouldn't be as exciting, but hey, if I made a living out of that, maybe.
You know what I mean? Hey, gold's up. Seashells should be up too. No, I'm kidding. You guys all have a good night.
You too. All right, y'all. We'll close out 8:30. What's up?
Let us know when you have appointments. Let's case design with you. We want to help you. Let's get you going.
See y'all tomorrow morning. Take care. Have a good evening.